to be creatures, so your gas should invalidate your opponents. You want to play as many of the planeswalkers that make creatures kind of shitty. Like, you've got Tamio and a bunch of these dudes who give, like, creatures minus whatever, and dudes that, like, destroy creatures or make creatures. That's the kind of thing you want in your planeswalkers, because it's like, you're casting creatures, but I'm just going to kind of deal with them until I can wrath the board or activate all these planeswalkers at once. So even if you can swing, you can only kill, like, one of them, so I don't give a shit.
I feel like Kiora, in particular, actually really shines in this deck. Because you basically just drop her and use her as a permafog on whatever creature.
Uh-huh.
I mean, similar to Doran Ban, like, you can just drop either of them and then just use them as a permafog, and then at some point later on, when you've built up enough defenses, start minusing them for other value.
Right.
The nice thing about Kiora is that if you get her to ultimate, which is actually not impossible, if you can get her on a permafog, like, you actually get something that just straight up wins you the game.
Right.
Like,
I'm looking at what the other Kiora does.
I looked at the
Not
other
as,
Kiora.
yeah,
I
not
thought
as
about it,
good.
but she's
Not as
not as
good.
good.
Not as good.
Yeah, she's not as good. Actually, Dovin Bonds is pretty good too, but he's harder to ultimate. Like, this Kiora is actually really good in this deck. Like, you drop her and up her.
Right.
That puts her at 3 counters. You do that 2 more times, and then you ultimate her. So in 4 turns, you permafog a creature that can't hurt your planeswalkers, and then ultimate her, and you win the game.
Right.
Basically, for all intents and purposes. I was thinking if I should try and include some more take an extra turn cards. I mean, 'cause the only ones I put in were the 2 time warp effects and the one you saw.
Right.
So I could take out like some of my pointed cards for Time Walk.
That might be good. I mean, I don't know if I bother with more than, like, one more. Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing if there's any other cards that you might want to play. You might want Dak Faden. He filters you through your deck.
Yeah, I looked at Dak Fade and I thought about him, but it felt like he might not do enough. But maybe you're right.
He
Maybe
might,
just
he might
filtering.
not. The filtering is pretty damn good. Although I guess you don't have enough spells for his ultimate to work, so that kind of goes away.
Yeah, like he literally is just a filter.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I looked through all the planeswalkers eventually, and I just started looking through all of them and seeing what I thought, if there was any, like, the only one that was also on my list of possible includes that didn't make the cut that was pretty close was Rouse Eric. Like, he's solid. The problem is I really just want him for his minus ability. I don't really care about his +1, like tapping something and untapping something doesn't really help me.
I'm tempted to say you should maybe play Fraley's, because she's just
Fraley's was another one that I thought of, but the problem is she's double green.
right. Yeah, I understand
But at
that.
the same time, like, I mean, look at my field right now. Like, I
Yeah,
run all 10 duels, I run all 10 shocks, like, I run
yeah,
all 10 fetches. Like,
yeah. I feel
it's
like you can
probably
make it
not a
work.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because I don't see anything here that deals with artifacts or enchantments, so someone could just lock you out. I mean, I don't really know how, but you could just end up with your opponent being like, "Oh, cool, you can't deal with this thing," like a Blood Moon, especially.
Well, yeah, I mean, this deck will probably just auto lose to Blood Moon effects. Like, I
Right.
just went into it knowing that. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I just lose. I just lose the game if there's a Blood Moon. Like,
Yeah.
I accept that fate. Like, I'm willing to live with knowing that.
Right. Do you think you want
Like,
to go all the way up to a Karn? Because Karn's like, bleh.
yeah, that was the thing. Is like I didn't include Ugin or Karn, and I thought about both of them because they're both insanely good. And I
Ugin's
probably
rough.
should.
Ugin's kind of rough. I can see you being like, not wanting to slip the curve up that high, but I think Karn's more manageable.
I mean, at the same time, put it this way: I'm running Nicol Bolas and Garrick,
Right, but you
who are
don't want.
7 and 8.
I'm not saying like you can't go up to Ugin. I'm just saying you might not want to have more than a handful of cards that get up that high.
Yeah. Let's wait. Ugin might be better than Nicol Bolas.
That's true. I really like that Ugin can't kill Nicol Bolas. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. Anyway, this was fun. Feel free to call me. But I need to walk away from my computer and sit on the toilet for an extended period of time.
Right, I'm going to give you a ring here in a second. I'm going to step out, smoke. Thanks for watching, everybody.
What?